Afternoon, everybody. How are you all today? Good. Awesome. So today we're going to talk about how to find your niche, how to navigate challenges in the market, how to rise above the competition, and also how to evolve as an industry leader while still contributing to the success of the overall industry. Sounds like a tall order for a short presentation, right? Are we ready to go? Yeah. So I just,
Try to get the door.
Okay. I just wanted to say thank you to KW Memorial for having me today, and also to Rhonda for inviting me here. I'm so grateful to have you in my life. And one thing I want to do is just start by asking you guys some questions. I just want to ask you a couple quick questions just to see where we're all at today. So who is here today to build your business? Okay. Wait, do it one more time. Who's here to build your business? Everyone. Okay. Who here wants to boost your impact and your income with your business? Okay, good. Can I get a yes or a yes?
Hell yeah.
Perfect. And who's here to learn the most or the least today? Who's here to learn the least? Good. That was a trick question. I was just checking. Perfect. So we're all here to learn the most. And what I want to talk to you about today, I could speak about this for days. In reality, sometimes I speak for several days on stage in a stage environment. So I have done my best to consolidate this down, make it as concise and impactful as possible with the time that we have today. And what I would encourage you all to do is to pay close attention, take notes if you can. If there's anything that sticks out to you, just write it down. Doesn't matter if it makes sense or not. We can make sense of it later. And my goal today is not just to talk and for you guys to hear, but I want you guys to listen and fully absorb what I'm talking about today. And I want you to be able to integrate what we're talking about and apply it to your business. Okay? So who's ready to get started? Okay. Can I get a yes or a yes? Yes. Thank you. So in case you all don't know me, which most of you probably don't, my name is Erica Powell, and I am a strategic business coach and branding designer, among many other things. But if I have to boil it down, that's where I'm at. My company, Erica Powell & Co., offers a lot of things. We're a team of 8 ladies spread out all over the country, which is really fun, and serving clients all over the world. We work with our clients to build industry-leading brands. That's where it all started. Attract high value and high-end clients. Who likes a high-end client? Anyone?
Yeah.
Perfect. Also, to curate powerful and self-led teams, to run a business that creates profit and freedom. Who likes profit and freedom? Anybody? Perfect. So that you can live and enjoy your life to the fullest while you're running your business. So, first things first, what I would love for you all to do is hop onto my Instagram and give me a follow. And there's a reason I want you to do this, because we're about to do a little contest. You should be able to get that little QR code. And when you follow us, we love to share company news and updates, brand launches and inspiration. We have a lot of brand launches about to come out, so those are fun to watch. And also business building tips we share weekdays, Monday to Friday, every single week. So let's start with our little contest here. And don't worry, QR code's still there. So this is what I want you guys to do today. And we're gonna have a contest. Does anybody like Starbucks? Okay.
Yes.
Wait, I need to see, because I don't. Anyone? Only a few of you? Everyone? Okay, we'll tolerate it. I know we like local coffee shops, and I love that, but I can't always do a gift card to there. So what we're gonna do is, if something stands out to you in this presentation today that you feel like is good for your business, that you want to implement when you go home, that you want to do a little bit more with, take a picture or a short video. Does everyone know how to do a story here? Please tell me you do. Yes? Pop it in stories, tag me at Erica Powell & Co. And then I'm going to choose one person who had the best takeaway from today's presentation and I'm gonna gift you a Starbucks gift card for $25. I like to keep it, I mean, I'm competitive. Is anyone else here competitive? I mean, room of real estate agents, right? Okay, so today we're gonna talk about personal and market evolution. And what does that even really mean? And where did that come from? So I created this presentation and this teaching topic many, many years ago. When I started my first business, I'm now running my third business. And basically what I wanted to go with, hang tight, I think we have, hang on, we went backwards. If you see that, just yell at me so that I'll know. Okay. I basically was trying to figure out how could I continue to grow my business no matter what the conditions of the market were, no matter what other people were doing. How could I become an industry leader and grow in my industry while at the same time also supporting my industry? Because competition is good, healthy competition is good, but at the end of the day, we all have to work together in order to make the industry that we're working in the best possible. Does that make sense? Yes or yes? Okay, so here's the thing though. In today's market, and you all know this, the challenge is real, right? There's a lot of competition out there. There's a lot of new people stepping into your industry every single day, right? The lady next door becomes a real estate agent, the guy down the street. So how do we continue to push ourselves forward? How do we continue to expand and evolve even when the market is challenging, even when competition is tough? And is it possible to evolve as an entrepreneur and also help your industry evolve at the same time? That's a big question, right? The short answer is yes. And I want to dig just a little bit deeper than that. I want to do confession time, okay? I want you to let me know if you have ever been guilty of attributing your success or lack thereof to external forces. So what does that mean? Maybe you secretly believed that if the market wasn't doing well, that you wouldn't be doing well either. Has anyone ever fessed up? Has anyone ever felt like the market's not doing well, so I'm not going to do well, right? Or who's ever subscribed to the belief that things are just tough right now? Anyone who wants to wave them in the air just like you don't care, right? Okay. I mean, realistically, how many times have we heard it's an election year and sales are down, right? This would be attributing our success to an external force. And lastly, another example is, how about, this one's my least favorite, and I'm sorry, I'm a little spicy, but when you hear other people aren't doing well, other agents aren't doing well, other businesses aren't doing well, you sort of also assume that that's what's going on in the industry-wide. Has anyone ever been guilty of that one? Just let me know. So you hear your friends chatting, everyone's at lunch and things are not going great. So then now it becomes this like, okay, this is a thing, right? So in reality, we are our only limitation. Beliefs become thoughts, thoughts become actions, and actions over time become your reality. Does that make sense? If you want to reach new levels of success with your business, if you want to have a higher impact of income in your life, you're going to have to play a little bit of a different game, okay? In order to create that new reality that we're talking about, we need some new knowledge, and that's why we're here today. So this is what we're going to cover today. And I will tell you all, because I'm the kind of person, I like to know what's coming and I like to know to feel like I'm on track. So I'm going to pop through what we're covering today, and I'll let you know that parts 1 and 2 are longer, parts 3 and 4 are very short. Okay. It's because there's a lot of gold in parts 1 and 2. So today we're going to talk about 4 steps to building a powerful business, even when the market is challenging, even when competition is tough. And we're going to cover part 1, how to narrow your niche. We're going to talk about what makes you unique and how you can win with your business no matter what the market is doing. Does that sound good? Perfect. Part 2, we're good. We're going to talk about building your brand. And we're going to talk about how to build a signature brand that sets you apart from your competition and captivates your ideal clients. Does that sound good? Part 3, we're going to talk about evolving your empire, how to frame your foundations for success, how to choose strategy over hustle, and to scale. And part 4, we're going to talk about inspiring your industry, because if we're all doing so well, it's time to turn around and give back, right? So we're going to look at how to build your influence and impact, how to encourage others to evolve, and how you can help redefine your local market and your industry. So you can keep moving forward with your business, even when the industry isn't. Does that sound good? Good. So let's start with narrowing your niche. So why does creating a niche for your business matter? Does anyone have any guesses?
Because if you're more focused on just 1 or 2 areas, if you can really educate yourself about those 2 areas, you can specialize and then be more value to your clients.
I love that. That's an awesome one. Yeah, definitely give, that was perfect. I feel like you maybe checked my slides ahead of time.
That's
It's perfect.
good. As my mom would say, you know, in theory, that's right, but you have to make yourself do that.
Right. Well, so we're going to do that today in a couple minutes. Does anybody already know that they have a niche? Does anyone have a niche that they stick with and they're good to go? Nobody? Okay, we're going to do it. You have one?
I think I did.
Okay.
Today I decided.
Today you decided. That's perfect. What is your niche?
I'm gonna go to commercial.
Commercial. I love it. Give her a round of applause. That's a big decision. I love that. And then you have a niche?
Yeah, I'm veterans. I specialize with helping veterans.
I love that. That's awesome. Give him a round of applause too. My husband's a veteran, so I wholeheartedly stamp of approval on that one. Okay. So one time I had a client ask me, and she was really serious. We were on a coaching call and I was coaching her. She's someone I've worked with for 7 years, and her tone got so serious and her face went so serious. And finally, she just went out with it and she said, "Aren't you worried about your competitors?" And I laughed, like really loud. And I wasn't doing it in like an egocentrical way or anything other than just a genuine like gut response of laughter. And the reason why I was laughing, I had to like back myself up and think about it for a second. Cause I'm like, that's kind of a rude reaction to a kind of important question. She was very serious about it. And what I realized, and I immediately turned around and told her, is that there may be competitors that are similar to me, but at the end of the day, I am so different and so unique from everybody else that I actually believe that I don't have a competitor. Does that make sense? So some of you are thinking, Erica, you're not that different. Like, seriously, come on. Come on. You're just a branding coach. You're a brand coach. You're a branding designer. You're a business coach. You do marketing. But people do that. Like, maybe not everybody does it all together or under the same company umbrella, but you're not that unique, right? And anyone could say the same about real estate agents or realtors, right? They could say, you're a realtor. So what, right? But here's the thing. You have to dig deeper than that. Okay. So I have a really unique set of beliefs and skills and expertise and experiences that I've cultivated over the years. Hang tight. And those things make me a specialist, just like you guys are specialists or have a niche, right? So let's look at all the things that make me a specialist. As an example, I'm a high-end sales ninja. I've been selling expensive stuff since I was 18 years old, okay? It's a real thing. I'm also an automation, process, and team builder. I build teams. I help people build powerful and profitable teams. I help people automate their processes and create client experiences. It's a little different. I'm also a client attraction specialist, but not just that, a high-end client attraction specialist. And I mean high-end. It just sort of was born into my blood. I don't know why. My parents were teachers. I didn't come from money. My parents worked their way up in the world, but I happened to grow up in one of the most affluent towns in the United States, lived in the smallest house, had the worst car, but I grew up around money, okay? So that made me feel comfortable with high-end clients because I knew that they were just like everyone else. They're humans, they're people, right? I also am a luxury branding designer. So all of those things plus luxury branding designer, a scalability expert, and a strategic business coach. So that's a lot of things, right? And more, because I can't fit that much on a slide and I wouldn't be able to fit within our presentation time. I went from one of many to one of one right there, right? The same is true for you too. Every single person in this room, you have a specialty or an expertise that's unique to you. You might not know it yet. You might not realize what it is, but it's there. No two people in this room are the same, and no two realtors are the same, right? Can we all agree with that?
Yes.
Perfect. So when you find your niche, there really is no competition anymore. I know that sounds weird to say, but we're about to really talk about that in a second here. So let me see where I'm at. I skipped a few. Okay, so when you want to find your niche, you need to become a specialist in what you're doing. So we had some specialists already come forward. But what I would love to do is for all of you to be able to find your niche right now. Does that sound like a plan? It's only going to take a couple minutes. So first, what I want to show you guys is my simplest formula for finding your niche. I have a lot of different formulas. I like to think of something called a market positioning statement. And a market positioning statement is something that immediately tells your audience, your potential clients, who you are, what you do, where you do it. There's a lot of different ways we can phrase this, but this is the simplest way, so we're going to do it. So let's look at some examples. And the framework that we're using here is who you are, who you help, and where you do it. Okay, feel free to take a picture of that if you want or write it down, super simple. And then I'm going to give you guys a couple of examples just to kind of get you thinking about how you can make your own. So example number 1, a buyer's agent helping first-time home buyers to find the perfect home in full share. Okay, you see how we have the who? Oh, I don't know if this guy has a little thing, but the who you are, who you're helping, and where you do it. You see how specific that gets and how fast? Next one, a relocation specialist helping busy professionals find the perfect neighborhood in Houston. Example 3, a listing agent helping sellers get top dollar for their custom home in the Woodlands. You see how specific that is? And when you hear those statements, you can see immediately how it niches someone right down. Does that make sense? And then the last one, and I wanted to make like 30 examples, but again, time. A commercial real estate specialist helping investors find their most valuable property yet in the River Oaks. Okay? So what I'd love for you all to do, just for a quick second, is try to write your who you are, who you help, and where you do it. I'm talking speed, marathon, just go for it, like get it done really quickly without thinking too hard about it. And then I'd love to hear one example from someone who feels confident. So who you are, who you help, and where. And let me know if somebody's lightning speed and they can already do it and they already know. Do you know, Rhonda?
And I help luxury clients in Cross Creek Ranch.
Perfect. And what do you help them to do?
Seller.
And buy their homes too, right? Because you do both. So you can sandwich that right in there. Anybody else have one that they want to just shout out?
Hardworking, bold, helping buyers and sellers achieve their goals, their real estate goals.
I love that. And where?
Sugar.
Perfect. Do you see how that Sugarland just really helps someone if they came to your website or if they came to your social media and they came to your Instagram, they would know exactly where you are and if you're the person they're looking for. Does that make sense? Do we have one more? Anybody brave enough to go? You do? I had a feeling you did. What do you have?
Buyer's agent helping first-time home buyers to find the perfect home in Cyprus.
It's perfect. Okay, give everybody a round of applause because those three were so good. All right, that is so simple, but it's so effective. So now, what we want to think about is that once you have that niche or that market positioning statement, that's where everything flows and radiates and expands from. Suddenly, it makes marketing so much easier, right? Because we know who we're talking to, who you are, and where we're doing that. So now, any piece of marketing content that we create, any post we put on social media, any website that you create, you immediately know who you're talking to, and you can magnetize that person towards you. Does that make sense? So now you all are not real estate agents anymore. You're not realtors, right? You're specialists. And do you guys feel the difference in that? Anyone who just like said their thing out loud, do you feel how different that feels to actually know? Okay, perfect. So as each agent grows and evolves, what happens is you all start growing in your own direction. So if you can imagine a realtor helping veterans, and where would you help the veterans?
Maybe, Houston Spring or Woodlands area, but anywhere in Houston surrounding.
Houston and surrounding, right? Or North Houston and surrounding, you could say. You're gonna grow in your direction. Rhonda's gonna grow in Cross Creek Ranch. Okay, so you see how now you guys are growing in your own lanes and you're going where you want to go. So as each of you evolves and grows, you have your own direction and you magnetize your own unique set of clients, the people that you love to work with and the people that light you up. So now we're not competing for a piece of the same pie anymore. Does that make sense? Now you each have your own pie, which is really fun, and that changes the game. So now what we want to take a look at is building your brand. So we have our niche. We want to look at building your brand. So what does building a brand actually mean? Does anyone have a guess? If not, it's okay, because it's such like a large statement to make. Building a brand is a big thing, right? It can cover a lot of stuff. So let me do the short and fast and fun answer first. Then I'll give you the terrifying answer. But the fun answer is that building a brand means creating a visual and energetic expression of the best of who you are and what you do. Okay, can everyone get on board with that? That's the fun one. That's the quick answer. Now, let's talk about the terrifying one. Okay, I'm gonna add this piece because I don't want to leave it out. So building a brand, we do that through visuals and messaging, right? So either visual branding, websites, social media posts, graphics, and messaging. And that brand reveals what makes you you. So we talked about that in the last section of narrowing your niche. So now let's talk about the terrifying answer of what is building a brand. Okay, so before I give you the terrifying answer, I would like to tell you that I recently had 2 clients, and actually they're long time clients of mine, and I gave them the terrifying answer, and they were legit terrified. In fact, this was a speaking engagement in 2017 in New York. There was a lovely lady in the front row. I told her all the stuff I'm about to tell you, and she raised her hand really high, and she said, "I hear and understand what you're saying. It makes sense, but it terrifies me." Okay? She heard it, she absorbed it, she did the things, and then the next year she 5 times her business. Okay? So I'm gonna tell you the real, but also we have to know that it's a lot to look at, but when you do it, it's incredible. The other one I'll tell you about, my other client who I love, and I've been working with them both for many, many years. The other one wanted to throw her computer at a retreat that I was hosting and wanted to leave and go home. Okay? Guess what she did? She 7 times her sales from the entire previous year in the first quarter of the following year. Okay? So I'm telling you this because it's important that when I overwhelm you momentarily, that we also understand there's a reason for it, and I'm doing it in good faith because I'd rather give you the real stuff than pretend. Okay? Hi, Rhonda. So what does building a brand really mean? 1, custom brand. Who here is a KW agent? Are we all? Can we raise hands? Okay. And if you're not, and I'm not like plugging for KW, but I'm just going to say it's a really good thing that KW allows you to have your own brand within their brand. Okay. This is important. There are a lot of brokerages out there that don't allow you that freedom, and it's really hard to stand out when you have the same signs as everyone else, the same cards as everyone else, the same open house signs as everyone else. And you know what is so funny, Rhonda? My daughter, when she sees your open house sign, she's like, "They're Rhonda's. They're so good." And then she'll look at the next person and won't say any names, and she's like, "Those are boring." And I'm like, "You're right. You're totally." She's 11 or 12. She just turned 12. She's right. So custom brand, unique to you. Messaging, like we just talked about. Now we demystified narrowing your niche a little bit. We understand a little bit more about where that messaging comes from. It's not that hard, but it has to be customized and unique to you. Client experience. This one is huge. A lot of people don't realize that your client service and your client experience has a lot to do with building your brand, right? Because if you serve that next client well, they're going to refer you to their friends and possibly more of their friends over time. And client service is part of your brand. Custom website. Unique to you. Not the same template that everybody else has. Not popping in a few things here and there. I will kid you not. It takes time, energy, effort, and cash to build a custom website, but it magnetizes your ideal clients. Custom marketing materials, and you yourself and you. And what do I mean by that? That means how you show up, what you wear, how you are, the photos of you, all of those things, okay? I'm gonna throw this around the room. Well, I'm not gonna throw it. I'll pass it. Let me see. If I threw it, it would be a problem. Please understand this is well loved, okay? What I want you to do is just pass it around. I can actually put a few out there so you can pass them a little bit faster and take a second to look at it. This is one of my favorite things that we made for Rhonda, okay? If you want, just send them around. I love them, okay? I want you to imagine how you would feel as a potential seller receiving that presentation. Okay, when you all get it, you'll be able to look at it. You would feel like Rhonda knows her shit. I hope I can swear in here. Is that okay? No, ma'am. No, you don't, or no, I can't swear. Okay, I will edit it. Oh, I dropped my clicker. It's fine. Okay. Hopefully I can get this together in record time. Okay, no more swearing. That was my last one, I promise. Okay. And more. This is just the tip of the iceberg, but this is like the bare bones, what building a brand is, okay? Pulse check, is everyone still alive? I'm just checking. Everyone's still good? Okay. Oh, lost my clicker half again. Hang tight. I think it should be fine, hopefully. Yes, I got it now. I clicked right in. Okay, perfect. Okay. So, does it sound expensive? All of those things that I just said. Yes. It sounds expensive. And it can be expensive. And most of you right now are actually wondering, do I need all that stuff? It's like what's actually playing in your mind. I know, because I've talked to a lot of business owners in the past, and this is what they think. You know what else is expensive though? Doing listing appointments and not getting the listing. Driving all over the place to do those appointments and wasting gas and time. Losing a client to a different agent who's more sparkly. It's pretty expensive. Spending hours of time or lots of money on a website that doesn't do the job and doesn't draw in the right clients. Has anyone done that before? I've done it. And I've had a lot of people do it. Spending time or money on marketing or social media without getting the results. That's also expensive. So, let me just see, am I on track here? The short answer is no, you don't. But if you want to close most of your listing appointments, stand apart from your competitors in the industry, be regarded as an industry leader, charge the highest commission rate possible, because we all know that some people take a % off, right, just to get the job. And that % is a lot of cash. Am I right or am I right? Have a steady inflow of qualified leads. Who wants that? Who wants clients coming to you on repeat? Okay. And if you want to build a business that can succeed and expand in almost any market or economy, then you kind of do have to do all of those things that I was just talking about. I'm going to give you a 2-second branding test, okay? Which ice cream stands out? Anyone? The pink. 2 seconds, like I said. So, one thing is that if you want to set yourself apart, you absolutely cannot blend in. Does that make sense? Okay. So there is a shortcut to all that, and that would be hiring a professional. I know a branding coach and website designer. I just found out she's available. I'm just kidding. But really, that is a shortcut because it saves you a lot of time and money over time. It helps you get to that result that you want faster. And so the real question for you is, it's not whether doing all of that branding stuff is expensive or not, because yeah, it is. The real question is, what will it cost you if you don't do all of those things? What will it cost? And when it comes to hiring a professional, would you rather be working on all of that stuff, doing it on your own, playing the trial and error game and doing it DIY? Or would you rather be sitting in a pool after closing another fabulous listing? You let me know. So, building a powerful brand builds your value. It shows that you're an expert. It expresses who you really are. It shows what makes you unique. It magnetizes the right clients. It shows your expertise and what makes you a specialist. And it helps you to rise above the competition. And lastly, it helps you boost your profit and your income continuously over time. And if you want a small example of that, if you think about the 1% that people take off just to close the client and get the listing, Think about if you add all those 1% up over your career, how much money that is, right? So I'm going to share a quick checklist with you, and you can take a picture of this. The other thing I want to say is at the end of the presentation, there's a QR code. You can like enter your name and email, and I'll send you the slide deck if you want it, just so you can kind of go through. This is a little checklist. So this is the must-do list. There's two lists. There's the must-do and the may-do. Must-do, narrow your niche. Hopefully you're all well on your way to doing that today. Have a professional brand, website, and messaging. You can choose to try not to have this, and then eventually one day you're going to realize that you have to have it in order to go where you want to go, okay? So just keep that in mind. Custom marketing materials, business cards, company and property brochures. So if you have a company and then you have property listing brochures, I wish I had one of Rhonda's, they're so pretty. Any kind of brochure, mailers, signs, email signature, those should all match your brand because it reinforces your brand presence and who you are. And when I drive around Cross Creek Ranch, I see Rhonda's face on all of her open house signs. And if I saw her in a coffee shop, I would recognize her right away, okay? So all those little things add up. Also, this one is a fun one. You need top quality professional images of you. So have you guys noticed all the pictures throughout the presentation of me?
Beautiful. Yes.
Thank you. They're an investment, but it made me feel like the best version of myself, right? And it makes me feel comfortable when I can show the best version of me. Also, non-negotiable, really good images of your listings, not saving dollars on the photographer, okay? It's really important. Any mailers, any signs, any of those things, your wardrobe, your work wardrobe. Sometimes Rhonda is like, hey girl, I need like 50 outfits. Can you send me some links? Okay. That's part of your brand too. I have my closet arranged in color order. Am I OCD? Yes. But is it easy to find what I want? Yes. Right. And I have it arranged by occasion. So I have all my cocktail. I have a secondary cocktail outfit closet upstairs, which is really weird. I'm aware of that, but it's helpful. I think I get it from my great aunt. She actually used to live in Memorial, but she had everything like categorized and tagged with the day she wore it and what she was wearing, who she saw, what shoes she wore with the outfit and all the things. You don't have to go that far, but it would be nice. It would be nice if your outfits could actually match your branding. Like if I need to pull an outfit of a picture of Rhonda's and I have to throw it on a sign, I know that it's going to go and that it works, right? Because we think to that level. Also, the non-negotiable must do, you have to have your supportive client service process. So you have to be absolutely supportive of those clients. You have to do a good job. That's your name, that's your reputation. You need to take care of people. Strong social media game. I know social media is not for everyone. And I'm not saying you need to be the best pro out there doing like reels left and right and stories all the time and all those things, but you have to have a strong presence. Because let me tell you what buyers and shoppers do now. They will go to Google, they'll look for a realtor in their area, they will find your website. If they like your website, they will check out your Instagram. And what they're looking for is, if I hire you, are you going to show off my property? And is there going to be a response? Okay, so they're going to look for that. And sometimes they come in the other way. They come in through Instagram or Facebook or LinkedIn or any of those social media platforms. They look at what you're all about. They click to your website. And if you don't captivate them within seconds, they're gone and on to the next one. Okay, it's losing clients. So strong social media game, at least strong and workable. Networking and leaving your materials everywhere. I want you guys to take your beautiful stuff and leave it in the coffee shops if they allow you to put it there. All of your business cards, leave it in the coffee shop. Put it up on the bulletin board. It's important for people to see your face and to see you out there, okay? And then networking, going to events in adjacent industries, maybe not always just real estate, events, but maybe there's a networking event for your spouse's office, or maybe there's a different industry having a network event, or a like awards gala. I always go to the safety awards with my husband. It's a lot, but it's fun. I will say it's fun, and I always meet people there. So getting out there and being out there. Now the May-do list, okay? Because I know some of you are like, girlfriend, that's expensive. That's a lot of stuff, and I'm gonna be really busy if I do those things. But the May-do is carefully curated advertising. So if you're willing to invest in some advertising, you could either do that in industry publications, or you could do that in magazines, or you could do that digitally online, or you could do that with mailers that go out to certain neighborhoods. Carefully curated advertising opportunities. And when I say carefully curated, I mean, if it doesn't provide an ROI, stop doing it, okay? So if something you're doing and you give it a fair enough chance and you give it time to get some legs, if it doesn't work, maybe try something else and keep going until you find something that works for you. And then lastly on the May-do, and like I said, the last two sections are very short, so we're very close to finishing here. But the May-do list is advanced social media game. So you all know those realtors that do reels, that show up in stories, that do YouTube and all that stuff, right? And they're awesome. And that's great. That's a May-do. You don't have to do that though, okay? So let's take a peek now. And what I want to say about that too is that that sounds like a lot to do. You do not have to do it all at once, or you might combust. What you want to do is do one thing at a time, right? So if your next thing is you need a brand and a website, do that thing. And then if your next thing is you need to do some advertising, do that thing. You don't have to do it all at once. Trust me, none of us would survive. So every step you take, just know that everything that you do will lead you closer and closer to getting the results that you want. Okay? So let's talk about evolving your empire. So what does it actually mean to evolve your empire? Because again, that's a big statement. So now that we're, building your brand and we're narrowing your niche, what you have to think about is framing your foundations for success over time. And how do we do that? Sounds like a tall order. So what I'm going to do, and I told you these two are going to be short, is I'm going to give you a cheat sheet, a quick checklist, okay? This is how you stay on top of your game, and it's not as scary as it looks. Develop a perpetual learning mindset. The fact that you're all here today learning, taking pictures, taking notes, investing your time in your future success, that's a perpetual learning mindset. Seek ongoing education that supports your goals, whether that's online, in person, going to conferences, going to a retreat. Seek that, getting a coach, any of those things. Seek ongoing education to help you up your game. How do you guys think an Olympic athlete would do without a coach? Be pretty tough, right? Probably wouldn't do very well. So just remember that even successful people that are doing really well still invest in their future success and find education or support that helps them support their goals. Surround yourself with positive team players. I would venture to guess that everyone in this room is a positive team player, right? Because you're all here today and you're all working on building your brand and building your own business. Be a positive example to others. It's not that hard to do, but it's really easy to overlook it. There's a new agent. Have coffee with them. Maybe that agent is going to refer some people to you, right? Maybe that agent gets in over their head and they have to close their business and then they turn everyone over to you. Maybe that agent takes off and is amazing and wants to join your team, right? So be a positive example. Does anyone here feel like business is a hustle game? And you're just always hustling and grinding, and it's like you just like throw yourself into it and just hope that things are gonna get better? Anyone? Give me a yes or raise your hand. I just want to see. I was the best workaholic hustler ever. And Daniel can tell you because he knows, he's seen it in action. It's terrifying. when you get yourself into that hustle zone where you're like, I've got to bust through this. I need to stay up until 3 a.m. to finish this. I can't work out for several months because I got to get to this goal, or I need to close this many houses, or I need to build my sales up to this amount by the end of the year. So I'm going to put myself on the back burner. Whenever you get yourself into the hustle zone, I want you to remember me telling you that the way to overcome hustle is through strategy every single time. And if you take a step back and you think about, what am I actually trying to accomplish here? And is there an easier way for me to do this? In most cases, you will find it, okay? So you'll remember me tapping you on the shoulder and saying, don't hustle, go to bed, okay? Incorporating self-care and wellness. You are the long-term game. We posted this on my Instagram yesterday. One of my guest speakers in my online community was talking about you are your long-term game. Because if you burn out, there's no business left, right? I've learned that a couple times. So incorporating self-care and wellness as often as you need to and as often as you can. Putting yourself first. The next one is refining your craft and becoming the best agent you can be, like you're doing today, learning. This one's one of my favorites because a lot of times people will come to me and they'll say, Erica, I want more high-end clients. How do I get more high-end clients? I want more million-dollar homes, multi-million-dollar homes. I want more billionaires, millionaires as clients. How do I do it? And I always say, you have to become the version of yourself that client wants to work with, okay? There's no way around it. And people will say, how do I become an industry leader? I'm like, sadly, by becoming an industry leader. Like, it sounds simple, but that's it. You've got to do the things. You got to put in the steps. Continue to evolve. Hold on to what works for you and let go of what doesn't as fast as possible. This is something I've learned in the 3 businesses that I've had over time. The faster I let go of something that isn't working, the less it hurts. Has anyone learned this lesson so far? Have you ever learned a lesson where you're like, oh, I'm doing this thing again, I'm doing it again, and why am I in the same place, right? The definition of insanity. So if it's not working for you, if it's not serving you, let it go as fast as possible. Rip it off like a Band-Aid and find something that works better. Build your assets, your brand. Create powerful foundations so that when that market shifts, you have your own brand and your own business to lean on, all the work that you've done over time. So again, with this one, she doesn't want to click. I can click right here. Maybe not. She fell asleep on us. Perfect. You can't do all of that at once. So you just have to kind of pick a few of them and do them, and then layer in some more habits and some good things that'll help you grow and evolve over time. And every time you do one of those things, every time you work on evolving yourself and evolving your business, it will serve you and you will continue to grow over time. Now, our last piece, this is the shortest one, I believe. Inspiring your industry. So everyone always asks me, how do I inspire my industry? How do I build influence and impact? I'm just a human, I'm just a person, just an agent. So when you all take responsibility for your own success, like we're doing today, and we're not attributing our success or lack thereof on external forces, when we take responsibility for our own self and our own success and take the action that needs to be done to get the results that we want to have, then we inspire people around us naturally. Does anyone have any negative Nellies in their life? Raise your hand if you do. Okay. I hear you. You have to be the positive Patricia, okay? I'll just say it's a Patricia. When we take responsibility for our own success, we can change our trajectory dramatically. Imagine if you started chipping away at all the things that we were talking about today. Imagine if you started implementing, finding your niche and really speaking to that right client that you want to work with and really building your brand with every social media post that you do. Imagine the cumulative and long-term effect of that. It doesn't have to take long either. I talked to you guys about my two clients, the one that 5 times her business the next year and the one that 7 times her business within the first quarter of the following year. It doesn't have to take a long time. You just have to do the right things. Does that make sense? All the things that we talked about today are business building activities. Sometimes we get kind of distracted with the client service stuff and the research and all the things that the busy work that drops into our lap and sifting through the million emails and the junk email and all that stuff. We have to focus on the stuff that we're talking about today. So let's quickly look at this last Inspire Your Industry checklist. And it's super short. How do we inspire the industry? You have to focus on your own success first. You need to put on your oxygen mask first. Just like they say on the airplane. You have to be a positive Patricia, a positive voice in the industry. You have to encourage other people, the people to the left and to the right of you, the newbies and the experienced people that might be having a hard year. You have to be the voice that says, you've got this. We can do this together. You haven't sold that listing? Let me see if I have a buyer. Let's do another open. Okay. Encourage others to expand past their limitations. And you guys have to build each other up. And when you know that when you expand, you inspire others to do the same. And when you all expand, you redefine the market and the industry itself. Does that make sense? Perfect. And lastly, do it one step at a time, one thing at a time. And the more you do, the more it'll serve you and your business. So what I would love to do, thank you all. My last little slide doesn't want to come up. I don't know why. Can you see? I don't think it loaded for some reason. So what I'd love to do now is just, if you guys have any specific questions about your business personally, or anything that I talked about and you want to know more about it, or anything that you liked and you want to share as a takeaway, I would love to do that. And this is my favorite part because this is when we talk about learning. Yes, there you go. Okay. Does anyone have any questions they want to ask about building your business or your brand or finding your niche? Who's a brave soul? Okay. What do you got?
Yes, the collateral that this woman used that was passing around. I know it's pretty expensive. What does that cost? As far as the more you buy, it's impressive. But I know the more you buy, it's probably your price tag, right?
That's true. Yes. What I will say is that it all starts with your brand first. So like we can't make materials like that until you have a logo, a brand guide, fonts that are like particular to your brand, colors, the particular shade of blue that we like, all the things. Okay, so that's like step number 1 is the brand. Step number 2 is the website. Once those 2 things are done, then we get to play and make fun things like that, make business cards and all that stuff. And I often explain to people that when you think about a client closing machine, I like to think of it as a client closing machine, okay? Everyone thinks about marketing first. That's the first thing your mind goes to is marketing. I need to show up. I need to market. I need to get out there. I need to advertise. You can spend all the money in the world on marketing and advertising, but if you don't have a brand, you're just throwing money like at the wall, like throwing spaghetti against the wall. Because the brand itself is the client magnet. The brand and the website is the client magnet. The marketing stuff, the social media stuff, the advertising is traffic. But if you don't have a magnet, then you're just throwing money at the traffic, but it's not sticking. Does that make sense? So I would say, you know, like I said, do things one at a time, step by step. First step would be like your brand, developing a brand that's unique to you. And your brand would look very, very different from Rhonda's, right? Because your style is different. You have that.
The biggest part of extension yourself. So yeah,
So you, if you already have that, then what we could do is look at your branding assets and then we can just see, you know, how many hours would that take and how do you want that to look? And we would just cost it out that way. Okay?
Just since working with Erica, I mean, my luxury business has increased to 20%.
Wow.
So it is an investment, and it's something that I put aside in my business because I knew at some point I would find someone that could brand me like that she has. I've always wanted to set myself apart, like I set my listings apart. It's a huge, big part of my business, and whenever someone calls me for a listing appointment, I send them my website. And if it's set apart from anyone else, it's very luxurious, very eloquent. So it kind of already puts them on that luxury level. So the money that you're investing in yourself and in your business is, you're gonna see the result.
I mean, it adds a whole lot of that.
Yeah. I would think, thank you. I think the brand and website, it should already sell the client before you even walk in the door. Right? Then when you walk in the door, you can close them with the fancy stuff. Okay? Does anyone else have any specific? Yeah, what do you got?
As far as the branding goes, you said that it was kind of the first step. Is that something you guys like help with?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, we do custom branding, website design, social media management. And the other thing that we do that I love is if somebody wants to learn how to do it themselves, we also teach you. So you can choose like DIY track or you want us to actually do it with you. So do you have a question?
Yeah, you have social media that can follow you.
Oh, yeah. So, let me see. It's Erica Powell and Co. ERICA POWELL. Is it down there? Yeah, Erica Powell, but then it's AND on Instagram. Instagram is where I'm the most active. I have a mini baby YouTube channel that I'm playing with, but Instagram is where I'm at most often. Which let me tell you too, by the way, I got hacked on my Instagram and lost all of my following and I had to start over. So
Oh.
that was fun. Please put 2-factor authentication on your Instagram account. When you lose 2-factor authentication on your Instagram. So when you log into Instagram with just your username and a password, it's just one layer of security. But you have to dig deeper into your settings and you know what you can do? You can just go to YouTube and type in like how to put 2-factor authentication on your Instagram. And it'll walk you through how to do it. And basically what it does is that you have to add another code or you need to add something more in addition to just your password. But it will protect you. And if you guys have a personal brand, if you have your face as your profile photo and you have your name, I also recommend getting Meta verified. It's only like, I think it's $12 a month, $12.99. Yeah, do that because if your account ever gets hacked, they will actually help you. And if you don't have that, then they will not help you. And they'll just say you're SOL and that's it. And you lose your account. You have to start over. Okay.
For active post, it's called two-step authentication.
Yeah, 2-factor authentication.
I think for the QR code, it's not doing it because it's right there.
Try this one.
Oh, okay.
Yes, and I will tell you that my robot on that one is not delivering automatically. The middle one, if you want the slide deck, I'll send it to you tonight. So just fill in your name and email and I'll just send it over. Sometimes the robots rebel. They do. Technology is a blessing and a curse. Does anyone else have any questions about your specific business? Yeah.
I do, thank you for your presentation today. How do you, what if you have other things that you represent or that represent you outside of real estate? There are other things that I want to incorporate in my brand.
I love
Not
that
just
question.
realtor. There's, working on a podcast and there's just other things that I do. not
That's
just real
an
estate.
excellent question. Did everyone hear that question? If you have other things that you want to do, like podcasts, is the podcast related to real estate or no?
No, I have a private Facebook group of about 500 women. I'm looking to expand that, but to cover, more women's empowerment, style, lifestyle, fashion, wellness, health. And that is really what I want my brand to be.
Okay,
Not
so
just, although being a licensed realtor is very important, I don't mean to diminish that, but I have, other things that really are my passion.
I am obsessed with that. So there's 2 answers to this question.
I just don't know how to do it.
Okay, there are some people, like some gurus and whatever that are gonna tell you to separate that out into two things. I don't
Right.
recommend that. Yeah, I don't recommend that because that is all part of who you are. And that's also part of what makes you different from the next gal, right? So in my world, I recommend combining all of that together. Finding creative ways to make sure we're talking about real estate for a certain number of posts. And then when we have the podcast post once a week, that pops up. And in your bio, just make sure that you say something like your market positioning statement, like we talked about before, and then you can add a little bit of about the women's empowerment piece as well. That will get you clients. Because there are women that will see that and be like, wow, she is awesome. And that's amazing, right? So I always recommend to combine everything. And if you, like some people ask like, oh, I do commercial, I do residential, I do buyers, I do sellers. Should I have different presences for each one? It's like a similar question. I also say put them all together because it's what makes you different. Okay. Does anyone else have any questions? You're welcome. Thank you. And I will mention too, if you guys want to learn like marketing and you want to be with us for 2 days in paradise, I have a few spaces left at my retreat next month. So all you have to do is just scan that, fill out your name, and then I'll text you. But I'm super excited about that. We're going to be spending 2 days. It's me and 5 other teachers. Yes, 5 other teachers talking about marketing, Instagram, social media, growing your audience, growing your following, content planning, how to plan your content out, DIY luxury design, all of the things.
Do you think it's okay to like wait until we help a client sell their house or help a buyer client buy a house and get a commission and actually earn money before we do this?
Yes,
Okay,
absolutely, you should.
right. I mean, in a perfect world, we could do all this even before that, but. like,
I've seen
it's
people do it both ways. You know, some people make the investment in themselves and they do it because they know that for the long term it makes sense. And some people wait and they earn, you know, Rhonda put away money for many years before we met. She was just stockpiling it away and she didn't know who she wanted to work with. So she waited until she found that person, you know?
But then don't you run the risk of kind of branding yourself before you intentionally brand yourself?
It could happen. But if you show up as who you are authentically,
Did that.
yeah,
It's my more simplistic, and, because that's what I had access to. But then once I met her and I wanted to make that investment to really, brand myself,
Right.
then you kind of go through that transition, right? Erica kind of helped me with that.
she had a little imposter syndrome for a minute,
Because
for like one day,
I'm doing
one day.
I'm doing listings, 100 to 1 million, but then I kind of transformed it into this luxury brand person. And then I was like, but I don't want people that are selling at 300 to feel like they can't work. Right. So that's where I was, but Erica is a wonderful coach and mindset coach. And she kind of taught me through that. And she said, whenever you're luxury, then people will rise to that. Even if they're at the 300 or 400, they want luxury. Right?
Realistically, there's not many 300s anymore, right? They're all 500s.
They were 300 back then. You know?
They were back then, yeah.
Just
You kind
transition.
of did a lot of this on your own before you hired a professional.
Yes, and you can and you will, and we all do. Like we all start there, you know?
The best piece of advice that I got when I first started real estate is sponsor, he said, don't worry about your website yet, focus on getting business. And that was really helpful because you said you don't know what your niche is or anything. You might think it's one thing and it could be something totally different because you're so new that you don't really know exactly what you love yet. So I think you're going to learn that and you have to go through all those different things. And then once you figure all those out, and you'll be doing everything that she said. So I would recommend just doing that checklist.
Do the
that she had.
checklist,
It's
yeah.
fabulous. And just filling all those things in. And then when you figure, get those answers.
Right, and I agree with you. I think probably like maybe marketing through Instagram and Facebook is a step before a personal
You totally
website.
can. Absolutely. So then just remember the first step, what we were talking about of narrowing your niche. And I know you said to leave it open for a while, and that's totally fine. But even within a wider niche, you can still be a specialist, right? So just really what makes you different and how do you want to show up? And you can build, and you all tell me if I'm wrong, but probably most of you, when you started your businesses, however long ago, started with relationships, right? Building relationships, serving people well, and then that goes to the next person, and that's how you get more and more clients. So remember, that was part of building the brand, was the client service part. So just don't forget about that part. Yeah, awesome. Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you all for coming today. And if anybody has any other questions, you can come and chat. I'm happy to chat. Thanks so much.